I'm convinced that fantasy and sci-fi is one of the most perfect vehicles for grappling with real-world issues in a safe environment. We see this a lot when it comes to emotional processing and healing and mental health, dealing with trauma, that kind of stuff. We're seeing it increasingly with like the normalization of marginalized identities, which sounds like an oxymoron. But because writers in the fantasy and sci-fi genre are able to come up with their own canons, their own world building, they can build normative societies that don't exist in the real world. Queer normative, diversity normative. Like Star Trek is a perfect example of this. And honestly, I think it gives us this like safe testing ground for trying out new forms of societal governance structures, systems. We can use our writing to offer potential solutions, not only personally, but in broader senses too. And I would argue that's the most noble use of fantasy and sci-fi. I don't think I realized that that's what I was trying to do when I set out to begin my 8-book fantasy series. I knew I wanted a diversity normative setting, but I couldn't articulate why. Now that I'm 4 books into the series and starting to work on the 5th, I have some thoughts that are developing. While all of this was happening, I also had a marketing book on the back burner of my mind that I was kind of casually gathering evidence and confirmation for. The nudges have been nudging me to actually write the damn book lately. As I've been mapping out the outline, I've actually realized that there's a very strong thread between this marketing nonfiction book that I'm writing and my fantasy romance series that I'm writing, because they both speak to this idea of diversity as a unifying concept. So as I explore this further, what instances have you seen of this in the works that you read and write? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts.